cannabis plant has been called a miracle drug for children suffering from epilepsy. It's legal in 23 states, but not in Texas.
And that is something a handful of state lawmakers are trying to change this legislative session. Fox 4's Calvert Collins joining us now from Cook Children's in Fort Worth with one family's hope in their struggle against seizures. Calvert.
Well, Heather, 4-year-old Alyssa Howard and her parents drive from Rowlett here to Cook Children's in Fort Worth every few months to see how her brain is responding to the medicine she takes to control her seizures. And her doctor and her parents know that there's nothing that will cure them, but they hope that cannabidiol, or CBD oil, will give her the best shot at having a normal life.
Are you done? No? Oh, okay.
Like many 4-year-olds, Alyssa Howard is entranced by the cartoons on her iPad. She spends her mornings at school in Rowlett and her afternoons riding her 3-wheeler. But her nights are often interrupted. Alyssa is usually unconscious during the seizures, but they've caused developmental delays. They come on unexpectedly and can happen several times a day or week.
She actually only has an 85% chance of surviving into adulthood.
A genetic mutation causes Dravet's syndrome, which is a lifelong illness. She currently takes 3 medications, but her mother says they're not working. Lynn Howard found testimonies from other parents in California and Colorado about how CBD oil minimized their children's seizures.
If we could try CBD, and if we were lucky enough to gain seizure control and perhaps get her off of some of the other, the excess number of drugs that she has to take, she has such a better chance.
CBD oil is extracted from the cannabis plant and mixed with coconut or olive oil, then placed under the tongue or in the cheek. It is not smoked. It's still experimental and has not been heavily researched, but Fort Worth Republican State Representative Stephanie Click is co-sponsoring a bill to create tight regulations for cultivating, producing, and dispensing lower-strength CBD treatments to seizure patients like Alyssa. She calls it a reasonable approach with no potential for abuse, as does the Howard's doctor.
I didn't think we were to a point where they needed to pack up and move to another state for this. That instead, it's better to push our government to change our law so that CBD could be investigated.
If we lived someplace else, she could get access. But because she's a Texan, she can't have that.
Now, in what has been studied, CBD does not have any psychoactive effects like marijuana. The bill's sponsors are waiting to see if they will be able to get a hearing in front of a larger group of legislators in a committee this session, but it still has quite a few hurdles to go through, Heather. If it does pass, the earliest that any CBD oil would be available to patients like Alyssa would likely be 2017.
All right, so then how would the patient then have access to it? Would it be like prescribed through a pharmacy?
Well, they would be dispensaries. In fact, the bill's language includes that there would be a minimum of 3 dispensaries in the state so that patients all over the states would have access to that oil or other CBD treatments. There would also be a registry of patients so the state can track who would be using the CBD oil to prevent any potential abuse. But when I spoke to the state representative this evening, she said this is really going to be tightly regulated and very restrictive. So that's why she doesn't believe there would be really any chance for anyone to abuse this as a medical treatment.
Gotcha. All right. Calvert Collins live tonight. Thank you.